Dave Cecil, and hello Alice, and a big hello to Fred Reagan. World War II Black Cat, I guess. Flying Catalina, flying boats. We could always count on them to, if we ran in trouble, they'd be there to at least look us up. Many thanks, Fred. Now we'll start with the slides. I'm going to go through fairly fast. Number one. That's myself standing on the wheel of an F-6F, which is what I flew when I was in the Pacific. We were fortunate we didn't leave until September of 43. Things were getting under control about that time, so I felt very fortunate. This was taken, as a matter of fact, in California. I believe it was in August of 1943. Number two, one of our sister ships. We were one of 4 carriers, converted oilers actually, but we could do about 19 knots. And we were the Shenango, which I was on, the Swanee, the Santee, and the Sangamon. We all always worked together. The 4 carriers, we carried 31 airplanes, 22 fighters. Well, we started out with 9 dive bombers, 9 torpedo planes, and 12 fighters. Then we converted to 22 fighters and 9 torpedo planes. This is when we were on our way out. As a matter of fact, we went down to the New Hebrides and worked our way back up to the first operation, which was in the Gilbert Islands. The atoll was Tarawa. This is the way we would look flying on a mission. The fighter planes happened to be down below following the torpedo planes. There we are again. I was off to one side. I was fortunate. I carried my Kodak 35 with me. And the only time I went in the drink, I did not have my camera at that time. That was down off New Guinea. But here we are, flying, following the torpedo planes in, escorting them on a mission. Again, same thing with the fighters and the torpedo planes. There's a part of the atoll down below. The Chihuahua Atoll was about 25 miles from top to bottom, or east to west. Scattered islands, but it laid out like a big triangle. This is a chance to see the very top part of the triangle. Over the star and the wing of the airplane, there's a strip of land there. What is the northern name? It was held by the British, and I think they had a school up there. And then that's the left side of the triangle. The right side would be in the very far mid-center of the picture. And I'm flying right over the little strip, the islet, you might say, of Bedio, where the Japs had a airstrip. Our ships had already pulled into the lagoon with the personnel, the landing personnel, and you see the little white specks just in front of my wing that are coming into the beach. If you recall, I'll show you, let's see, this next picture may show it a little better. Well, not really, it's a little light struck, that one. But this one is a clear shot, and it shows, number one, the gun barrel on my wing of my airplane is pointing directly down the airstrip. The pier extended out to the northwest from the island, and that's about a 300 or 400 foot stretch, and you can see the Marines coming in the little landing craft. But when they got to where it becomes light in color, the tide was down, very poor planning, maybe very poor information. We didn't have any scouts or spies or whatever on the island, but they had to wade across that strip of coral there, knee-deep in water, at a very easy target for the Japanese. We lost 1,100 Marines killed there. back at Pearl Harbor. Actually, we are just off Lahaina town, where this is the area where the whales come, at the season every year. And we happen to lay over there because we are on our way out to the Marshall Islands. This is a beautiful spot, and that's all sugar cane on that slope of the hill. That's Maui. Escorting us was the brand new heavy cruiser Baltimore. Actually, this is on our way out to the Marshall, but that was, I think, its first combat operation is when it headed out in part of our group. This is an area view, and it's a strange story. I'll tell you real quick. This is a model that was made by somebody in the Navy made it. It's rubber or foam, and I laid it down on the deck of the ship on the flight deck and took an aerial picture of it. This is the island that we struck. This is the north end of the Marshall Islands, a model of it. And on the right you can see the airstrip. On the left you can see where the encampment was. They had the code names of camouflage on the left, which is where the camp was, and on the right it was called Burlesque. No trees, no nothing, just the airstrip. And oddly enough, this is one of two pictures that was censored by the Navy censors in Rochester, New York, where I used to send my film to have it developed or processed. This is one of the little parts of the Kwajalein Atoll. No military target, those are all coconut palms. If you look carefully, and they're sort of in the center, they're just in from the beach, in under the palms, there's some native huts in there. This is, so happened, they tell me at any rate, this was an explosion of where the Japs had their torpedoes stored. And I just happened to catch it. It's somewhat light struck, but I didn't want to throw it away because it did show some definite work. This is the north end. We're looking to the south. At this point, the Army struck the south end of the Kwajalein, and the Marines struck the north end. This is inside the atoll. That used to be where the shipping would get inside so that they could be where the submarines couldn't get to them. There happened to be the Saratoga in the back left, and on the right foreground is one of the so-called light carriers of the Independence class. They're converted cruisers, and they could go 30 knots. So they traveled with the big carriers. This is an opportunity we had to go ashore. We were in the lagoon, and we're looking straight across past the stern of that little, I don't know whether it's a minesweeper or whatever. On the horizon, there's a little mound. That is the hangar on that airstrip, which is codenamed Burlesque. This is the PB-4Y with Broadway Moreland. And you can see again the hangar to the left of the full-engine seaplane, and on the right there's a structure on the horizon, a bunch of beat-up coconut trees, but there's a two-story structure. That was the Jap headquarters. Again, we're on our way in. That would be our flight surgeon, whose head is in the right foreground. A couple of our pilots are on the back. We just went in a small landing craft. And here's the gang that went in. We all had a chance to go ashore and see some of the damage. They thought it might be good for us to see some of the effect. Because a lot of it was the battleship Shelley. This is that two-story headquarters of the Japs. Pretty well beat up. On the left is Smarty Morgan. On the right is Rex Hansen. Rex is from Utah. Rex died about 10 years ago, but Smarty was here in Clemson for our reunion last October. Smarty had the misfortune to be first assigned to Torpedo Squadron 8. And he just was fortunate in that he didn't have to fly. He was too junior to fly. All the senior pilots wanted to get in on the action in Midway, so they all went and all got shot down, including Ensign Gay, who was the only survivor. But Smiley's doing right well, lives in Florida, he and his wife, and they've got some children. One of the children joined the Marines, and he visited them up at Lejeune when he came up here back in October. You can see this hunting souvenirs, the tea kettle, and you'll see some Jap helmets, things that the boys just wanted to pick up, take back to the ship. I did the same thing. I had a helmet and a tail hook off a Zero, and some odds and ends. But after looking at it for about a month in my stateroom, we had two pilots who were quartered to a room. We were senior enough to get two to a room. It looked like so much jumping. I could tell you that I threw it over the side. But I did not get a rifle. Some of the guys got rifles, and they scrounged a lot more than I did. Rex Hansen being one. Rex wasn't a pilot, but he was our engineering, not the engineering, well, he was engineering officer. Rex, you see he's got a helmet in one hand and a rifle in the other. I guess he looked harder than some of us. They didn't see the damage that the shelling and the bombing would do. This is the little strip of land that connected camouflage with Burlesque. And you see the little crosses there, and some of the Marines looking at where their buddies were located. But we walked that little strip to get over to the Burlesque side to look around the hangar. And when we got over there, we saw this is what's left of the Jap Zero. But they had 20 millimeter cannon on it. If I had had some tools, I could have gotten a 20 millimeter cannon, but we went in, of course, not knowing or not anticipating we'd have a chance to pick up stuff. But I did get the tail hook off. That's the rear view of it. Now we're leaving, and we went on up to Eniwetok, but you see I'm starting to grow a little beard here, which I was kind of proud of. We used to have beard growing contests. Whoever had the best beard after 20 days, they used to get an award. And I always thought I had a good shot at it, but I never got a prize. Standing right in front of one of our fighter planes. This is going ashore at Saipan. It's Garapan Town. I had an opportunity to go ashore, or center shore, matter of fact, trying to get down to Isley Field to see if we could pick up a few more airplanes. We had lost about 4 or 5 planes, and it didn't pan out because I couldn't get to the airfield. But I did take my camera with me. This is on the way in a little railboat. This is the right there at Garapan Town, some small Japanese houses. I went to work that gentleman at the rear of the school bus, or beat up old buses. But you notice it's somewhat of a Ford automobile, or a Ford truck. Vintage 35, 6, or 7, somewhere in there. But I noticed when I got ashore that all the Japs, the doorways are lower, and the telephone or telegraph wires or power lines are